In a world of movie references flying over his head, one man will finally watch them. This is the Matt and Blonde Show movie review.
Tonight's movie is the 1960 Alfred Hitchcock horror thriller classic Psycho, in which a runaway woman goes missing after a stay at a mysterious hotel, and her friends and family's search uncovers an odd relationship between her killer and his mother. From movie picker Kyle, an iconic horror film that was revolutionary for its time. It faked out audiences into thinking they were seeing a thriller only to switch it up, kill the main star, and turn it into a murder mystery. And it has one of my most famous twists of all time, coupled with a great performance by Anthony Perkins as Norman, a guy who had almost as messed up of a real life as Norman did. It makes this an all-time great film that's as watchable today as it is when it was released. As always, your review and rating.
Oh, I don't know anything about Anthony Perkins' life. Is that what
I
he
have
was
some,
talking about?
I have some thoughts on that when I'll
okay.
when I talk.
Wow, what a near perfect film. I don't know how you're gonna feel about this. I was like, I wonder if Matt liked this or hated it. I couldn't decide. I love this so much. I loved that it turns out to be a mystery because you go along with the story and you think that the heroine is going to be with you until the end. Then you're like 30 minutes into the movie and she gets murdered, which is a very famous scene. But I've never seen this movie, so I kind of thought that was going to be the end of the movie. And I also like that she was so fundamentally flawed because it allowed you to not really feel that bad for her. Yeah. I didn't feel that bad for her. The performances were so good and convincing. And most of all, it had real elements of intrigue, of horror, of mystery and surprise. I just loved it. It was so much fun to watch. And I never do this, but I gave it a 5 out of 5.
Wow. That is, I can't remember the last time you did. It's been a minute.
So good. So did you like it?
I didn't rate it a 5, but I actually did like it, and I think that my points of criticism are pretty minor.
Okay.
But what I liked about this movie, the back half of it, as in after, spoiler alert, the murder of Marion, the shower scene. Like, the shower scene is where it really picks up and, in my opinion, gets a lot better. I thought the first half, just the intrigue of her runaway and stealing the money, it's just not as interesting, and most importantly, it lacks Anthony Perkins as Norman, which is the most interesting character. So I get why that's necessary setup, because that backstory is necessary to understand, just to understand Marion and to understand kind of what this murder means. So I'm not saying it's a total waste of time. It doesn't bother me. It's just the back half is where the movie shines. Anthony Perkins' performance as Norman is A+, as far as I'm considered.
Fantastic,
as far as I consider it. And what the movie picker was getting at is his life is very similar to Norman's. He lost his dad at a very young age, and he described becoming abnormally attached to his mom. And becoming emotionally, or just struggling emotionally because of that. So
did he murder her?
He did not, as far as I know, but in the story, maybe similar to how Norman is his mother, maybe Anthony Perkins is just Norman, and that's how he was able to portray this character so well, because it's not easy to really nail a character who's kind of surface level charismatic but actually sinister, and have all of those come off the right way without one being kind of forced. But he does. And
he didn't seem menacing at all until you find out more about him.
Yeah, he played it really well. I loved when the psychologist guy explains everything at the end, and why is he wearing women's clothes? He's a transvestite. Well, not exactly, but it's just moments like that, calling a spade that can't happen much anymore. Now, as far as things I was a little more critical of, I don't hate these things, but some things that I was a little confused about. There are several moments where Norman fails to cover his tracks in obvious ways. For example, not erasing or modifying Marion's entry in the logbook. And just having that easily discovered. He also leaves cabin 1 where she was murdered completely unlocked, and Sam and Marion's sister, I forget her name, but Sam and Marion's sister just walk right in there. And then he's in the office like as soon as they come out, and he apparently had no objection to this while they were just snooping throughout.
And then he leaves his house unlocked, doesn't he?
He also leaves his house unlocked after Arbogast has already entered. And so what it left me with is confusion about whether Norman is incompetent or or he's cunning. Like, is he trying to be caught, or is he trying to trap people in vulnerable situations to get them? But even that didn't make as much sense to me, because if he's incompetent, well, that would imply that this is like his first time doing the killings. Yet he killed his mom.
But he killed
10
years ago.
years
Those
ago.
2 women after that.
Oh, there
also.
were more. Were there more? It was the mom.
Because
and
they said something at the end about how there were 2 missing women, and then he was like, oh, he confessed to those as well. Like,
oh,
as his
maybe I
mother.
missed that detail. I might have to modify my review, because that would be like, if it's skilled, then it implies there's a pattern, and if there's a pattern, then if someone goes missing at the hotel, he's got to be suspect number 1. It wouldn't be like he's considered a person of interest but presumed innocent.
No, he killed his mother, her husband, 2 women that went missing in the area, and then he killed Marion and then the PI.
Yeah, so I forgot about the 2 other women. I might have to revisit that. But if he's that accomplished of a killer, why are there these obvious failures to cover his tracks? I found that to be a little weird. And then the murder scenes, if anything has aged, particularly the murder of Arbogast on top of the stairs, where it's like his face gets slashed. You watch it in slow motion. The knife is like 2 feet away from his face, and the fall down the stairs. It was tough.
It was 1960, so like, what are you going to do with special effects? Yeah.
It comes across as more funny than it does like tense or scary. But I get it. I'm not going to disrespect this movie. I understand that it is hugely influential. I also understand it's holy cow, it's 60 plus years old now, so I can't be too hard on it for that reason. So I gave it a perfectly respectable 4 wiki rating.
All right.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
The other thing I forgot to mention is my wife had seen this movie and loved it, but didn't tell me anything about it. I was able to predict all of the twists almost perfectly, even Norman being his mom, that it was because they were never actually seen together. They kind of argued with each other, but you never saw them physically together.
But how much of it was because you knew from cultural influence that was
maybe
like, I knew that was
maybe
the plot of Psycho.
I guess what I'm saying is, even though I saw a lot of the twists coming, I still enjoyed watching the mystery unravel. So I give it credit for that, even if I wasn't totally shocked by every single step.
It was so fun to watch.
I agree. I enjoyed watching it. It was a fun time. So I give it high marks for that. The audience is right there with both of us. They're giving it in the early vote 4 and 5 wiki ratings. Only 1 person each giving it a 1 and 2. So
boo. We're taking this week off, right?
Yeah, we are going to take. There isn't going to be a review on Thursday. The movie review will continue on Sunday, July 10th, and the next movie will be The Lion King, the 1994 original.
Wow.
Which, of course, I have seen, but I will keep my opinions to myself. The remaining nominations for July from listener Bobby are Training Day, Man on Fire, Collateral, Congo, Inside Man, Bloodfather, Spectral, or of course you can reject the list entirely and vote for a randomly selected top-rated movie instead. And as a reminder, if you'd like to read my movie reviews, comment how wrong I am, submit your own rating, vote for the next movie, and sign up for the chance to be the movie nominator for the month, the one and only place to do it is my weekly movie review column, linked in the description and on the homepage of the website. That is mattchristiansenmedia.com.